Hello, dear friends. You have no idea what a great future awaits you when the golden age, harmony, and limitless beauty will come, said the Bulgarian master Beinsa Douno. His prophecy has moved me. Opinion piece. Divine flame will transform everything. Everything will be improved. Matter will be refined. Prophecy of Beinsa Douno. This wave comes from space. Love will reign on earth. The unjust will not endure it. Everything will collapse and disappear. Negative acts will be destroyed. It will bring Universal Brotherhood. All flesh will glorify God. God has decided to repair the earth. Where there is land, there will come water. Where there is water, earth will come. The new age is the age of the sixth race. The heart shall be freed from anguish. Light, goodness, and justice shall triumph. Nothing will remain of this perversity. Prophecy of Beinsa Douno, Peter Deunov. He was an influential Bulgarian Christian mystic. He was praised by Yogananda and Krisnamurti. He was Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov's teacher. Pope John XXIII called him the greatest philosopher. Founder of the Universal White Brotherhood. A new order of love will replace the old one. There will be no more conflicts of personal interests. Not a single hair shall be touched from the head of the righteous one. You have no idea of the great future that awaits you. The meek and the humble will inherit the new earth. Only those who possess love in them shall remain. You will know the golden age, harmony, and limitless beauty. The human being will rise to a higher degree of consciousness. There is no place on earth that has not been soiled with blood. Russia announces the withdrawal of its troops on the border with Ukraine. Blockchain accelerator, the first chip for cryptocurrencies, 1,000 times higher. Spain considers ending the mass killing of male chicks. Let's start. Master Beinsa Douno, born Peter Deunov, was an influential Christian mystic who lived in Bulgaria and left the prophecy he obtained through a trance. The prophecy was dated a few days before his death in December 1944. Douno was praised in his day by Yogananda, Krishnamurti, and even Pope John XXIII. This is the prophecy, in quotes. Already, a gradual improvement is taking place in the thoughts, feelings, and acts of human beings, but soon all will be subjugated by the divine flame, which will purify them and prepare them for the new age. Thus, the human being will rise to a high degree of consciousness, indispensable for his entrance into the new life. This is what is meant by ascension. It will be some decades before this fire comes that will transform the world by bringing it a new morality. This immense wave comes from cosmic space and will flood the whole earth. All those who try to oppose it will be taken away and moved elsewhere. Although the inhabitants of this planet are not all at the same degree of evolution, the new wave will be felt by all. All this transformation will touch not only Earth, but the entire cosmos as a whole. The best and only thing that the human being can do now is to turn to God and consciously improve himself, to raise his vibratory level, to find himself in harmony with the powerful wave that will soon submerge him. The flame of which I speak to you, which accompanies the new conditions offered to our planet, will rejuvenate everything, purify and rebuild. Matter will be refined. Your heart will be freed from anguish, anxieties, uncertainty, and will become luminous. Everything will be improved and elevated. Negative thoughts, feelings, and acts will be consumed and destroyed. Everything around you will collapse and disappear soon. Nothing will remain of this civilization and its perversity. The whole earth will be shaken, and no trace will be left in this erroneous culture that keeps human beings under the yoke of ignorance. Contaminated space. Earthquakes are not only mechanical phenomena. Their purpose is also to awaken the intellect and heart of human beings, so that they may free themselves from their mistakes and follies, and understand that they are not the only ones in the universe. Our solar system now crosses a region of the cosmos where a constellation that was destroyed left its mark, its dust. This crossing of a polluted space is a source of poisoning, not only for the inhabitants of the Earth, but for all the inhabitants of the other planets of our galaxy. Only the suns are not affected by the influence of this hostile environment. This region is called the 13th zone. It is also called the Zone of Contradictions. Our planet was locked in this region for thousands of years, but we are finally approaching the exit from this space of darkness, and we're about to reach a more spiritual region where more evolved beings live. The Earth is now following an upward movement, and all must strive to harmonize with the ascension currents. Those who refuse to submit to this orientation will lose the advantage of the good conditions offered to them in the future to rise. They will be left behind in evolution and will have to wait tens of millions of years for the arrival of a new ascending wave, of another opportunity. The Earth, the solar system, the universe, everything is being set in a new direction under the impulse of love. Love is the greatest of all forces. Money and power are still revered as if the course of your life depends on it. In the future, all will be subjugated to love, and all will serve it. But it is through suffering and hardship that the consciousness of the human being will be awakened. Cataclysms. There will be floods, hurricanes, gigantic fires, and earthquakes that will devastate everything. Blood will flow in abundance. There will be revolutions. Terrible explosions will resound in numerous regions of the earth. Where is land, water will come, and where there is water, land will come. God is love. However, this is a punishment, a reply of nature against the crimes perpetrated by the human being since the night of time against his mother, the earth. After these sufferings, those who will be saved, the spiritual elite, will know the golden age, harmony and beauty without limits. Keep then your peace and your faith when the time of suffering and terror comes, for it is written that not a hair shall fall from the head of the righteous. Do not be discouraged. Simply continue your work of personal perfection. You have no idea of the great future that awaits you. A new earth will soon see the day. In a few decades, work will be less demanding, and everyone will have time to devote to spiritual, intellectual, and artistic activities. The issue of the relationship between man and woman will finally be resolved in harmony, each having the possibility to follow his or her aspirations. Couple relationships will be founded on mutual respect and esteem. Human beings will travel through different planes of space and advance in intergalactic space. They will study its workings and will quickly become acquainted with the divine world to mesh with the head of the universe. Fraternity. The new age is that of the sixth race. Your predestination is to prepare for it, to welcome it, and to live it. The sixth race will be built around the idea of fraternity. There will not be more conflicts of personal interest. The only aspiration of each one will be to conform to the law of love. The sixth race will be that of love. A new continent will be formed for it. It will emerge from the Pacific, so that the Most High will finally establish his place on this planet. A new culture will see the light of day, which will rest on three main pillars: the elevation of women, the elevation of the meek and lowly, and the protection of human rights. Light, good, and justice will triumph. It is only a question of time. Religions must be purified. Each contains a particle of the teaching of the masters of light, but obscured by the incessant supply of human deviation. All believers will have to unite and agree upon one principle, that of placing love as the basis of all belief, whatever it may be. Love and brotherhood, that is the common basis. The earth will soon be swept by extraordinarily fast waves of cosmic electricity. Purification. Within a few decades, beings who are evil and mislead others will not be able to withstand its intensity. They will thus be absorbed by the cosmic fire, which will consume the evil they possess. When they will repent, for it is written that all flesh shall glorify God. Our Mother the Earth will rid herself of human beings who do not accept the new life. She will reject them as damaged fruit. Soon they will not be able to reincarnate on this planet, criminals included. Only those who have love in them will remain. There is no place on earth that is not soiled with human or animal blood. It must therefore undergo purification. And this is why certain continents will be submerged while others will come to the surface. Human beings do not suspect the dangers that threaten them. They continue to pursue useless objectives and to seek pleasure. On the contrary, those of the sixth race will be conscious of the dignity of their role and respectful of the freedom of each one. They will feed exclusively on products of the vegetable kingdom. Their ideas will have the power to circulate freely like the air and light of our days. Beneath the earth, something extraordinary is being prepared. A great and utterly inconceivable revolution will soon manifest itself in nature. God has decided to repair the earth, and we will do it. It is the end of an epoch. A new order will replace the old one, an order in which love will reign on earth. And that's all the message, all the prophecy. Biography. Master Beinsa Douno, born Peter Deunov, was an influential Christian mystic who lived in Bulgaria. He was born in 1886 and died in 1944. At the World Theosophical Congress in the Netherlands, Krisnamurti refused to be declared the 20th century incarnation of Maitreya Buddha, telling the participants, in quotes, "He is already in a physical body on earth. The world teacher is in Bulgaria, and his name is Peter Deunov." His most prominent disciple was Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov, who died in 1986. He was a Bulgarian philosopher, pedagogue, mystic, and esotericist. a prominent teacher of Western esotericism in Europe in the 20th century, he was a disciple of Peter Deunov, or Beinsa Douno, the founder of the Universal Brotherhood. When Yogananda was asked during his visit to Greece about his intentions with regard to his intentions regarding establishing an ashram in Bulgaria, he stated, "This is as far as I can go. The spirit of truth is active there." Pope John XXIII called Peter Deunov the greatest philosopher, in quotes. Peter Deunov, also known by his spiritual name Beinsa Douno, and often called the Master by his followers, was a philosopher and a spiritual teacher who developed a form of esoteric Christianity known as the Universal Brotherhood. As the Universal White Brotherhood. Deunov is also presented in history most influential Bulgarian and is the most published Bulgarian author. Paneurhythmia. Between 1922 and 1944, Peter Deunov developed the Paneurhythmic exercises, a sequence of exercises performed to music to achieve balance and either harmonization. This practice promotes the processes of self-perfection, expansion of consciousness, and attainment of virtues. The circular dance is a conscious exchange between human beings and the forces of living nature. Each movement is the expression of a thought. The effect should be that the observer captures from the movements the thought or idea that they express. The rhythm in the movement in the physical body leads us to one in our spiritual life. Etymologically, pan-eu-rhythmia is derived from three roots. Pan meaning all, universal and cosmic. Eu meaning true or supreme, the essential and substantial of the world. Rhythm is correctness in the movements and in any other external expression of life. In 1937, Peter Deunov counted several tens of thousands of disciples. Foreseeing the political events and persecutions that were going to affect his country and put the white fraternity at risk, he chose Omraam Mikhaël Aïvanhov to make his teaching known in France and in the world. Legacy. Several thousands of Deunov's lectures were recorded by stenographers and are documented. These contain the essence of Deunov's teaching. There are also a number of songs and prayers, among which the good prayer is of 1900 is considered most special. The topics of the different streams of lectures were very varied and covered, among others, spirituality, music, geometry, astrology, philosophy, and esoteric science. Overall, Deunov gave approximately 3,700 lectures in the 3 decades between 1914 and 1944. His thoughts were also recorded in talks, private conversations, and early letters. Recent news. First, Russia announces the withdrawal of its troops on the border with Ukraine. The Russian Defense Ministry indicated that a part of the troops are returning to barracks, but that it will maintain major maneuvers involving the bulk of its armed forces, fleets, and airborne units. Second, Biden insists on war. President Biden said Tuesday that the Russian attack on Ukraine remains a possibility, and the reports that some Russian forces have moved away from the Ukrainian border have yet to be verified. Third, Russian President Putin has always maintained that he didn't war, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Maria Zakharova announced that February 15th will be remembered as the day when war propaganda failed. Fourth, problems with the internet began in Ukraine. The website of the Ministry of Defense has stopped working. Private Bank and Orchard Bank report problems. Private Bank has been under massive attack for several hours, News One reports. 5. Japan to supply liquefied natural gas to Europe. Important agreement between Japan and the European Union in the context of the crisis in Ukraine. Tokyo announced on Wednesday its decision to send part of its liquefied natural gas reserves to Europe, with the intention of avoiding supply shortages in several countries in the face of possible decisions by Russia. Shipments are expected to be a fact starting next month. Protests. First, Ottawa police chief resigns, according to senior sources close to the situation. Second, information from Stu Peters on Telegram, Ontario has a new mayor. Second, inspired by Canadians, freedom rallies strengthened around the world, including the US, Italy, Australia, France, Germany, New Zealand, and Switzerland. Third, march to Australian Parliament. News network set up to 10,000 people in Canberra. Police report said 1.4 million cars had arrived in Canberra by 5 p.m. Friday. If we assume 2 people per car is 2.8 million people, that's more than 10% of the Australian population. Fourth, Control Freaks Project. Reduce speed limits to 30 kilometers per hour in every city. Remove traffic lanes from roads and replace them with bicycle lanes. Speed cameras everywhere. Prevent driving. Force people to use public transportation. This is a social engineering program to reprogram the behavior of citizens. In short, it would be a totalitarian policy created by academic elites who have little or no connection to the real world. 5. A major leak has emerged, exposing nearly 2 million CCP members and 79,000 branches embedded in US government agencies. 6. JFK Jr. will officially announce that he's alive. He said in quotes, It's time for the world to know my true identity. It's time for everyone to know that I am alive. I will share with you the details of my first appearance on my new channel on February 17th. Everything has a meaning that you already understand. It's time for the world to feel the power of truth. It's time for the world to know I am alive. Economic crisis. First, former UK intelligence officer claims that 13 families run the world. Second, chain reaction. Deutsche Bank is the most important domino in Europe's unstable financial system. When it collapses completely, it will set off a chain reaction that no one will be able to stop. It has not yet collapsed because it is artificially propped up, but it is in a very fragile situation. David Wilkerson once warned that Europe's financial collapse would begin in Germany, and Jimmy Rogers warned that the implosion of Deutsche Bank would cause the disintegration of the entire European Union. Third, Iraq delay. They said Iraq is ready and everything is done. Wrong. They are missing a key piece. They say about 9 months ago that Iraq cannot continue until oil reaches $120 a barrel. Fourth, it will increase the dinar rate as the Central Bank of Iraq retires the old obsolete dinar bills. from around the world to launch the gold dinar. As soon as oil reaches a value of $120 a barrel of sweet crude, Iraq plans to set the dinar exchange rate at $3.2. 5. Within the next few days, Iraq will have seated its president and fulfilled its constitutional requirements. Iraq's national news channel has announced a new rate in the country of $1.50, which would rise on Forex to an expected rate of $10. Society. First, Trump's Truth Social network will be launched on Monday, February 21st. Beta testing is underway, and user will be able to download the application and create accounts by the end of March. Second, on Tuesday, February 22nd, the planet Pluto aligns in the same formation made in 1776. Third, new Intel chip for mining cryptocurrencies up to 1,000 times more efficient. Intel announced that they were developing a specific chip for mining cryptocurrencies in the form of an ASIC. In the field of electronics technology, ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit. An ASIC is an integrated circuit developed for a particular use, as opposed to a general-purpose integrated circuit. Fourth, the first chip specialized in energy efficiency for cryptocurrency mining, called Blockchain Accelerator, will arrive later this year, by the end of 2022. This chip has energy performance per watt 1,000 times higher than GPUs currently used for cryptocurrency mining using the SHA-256 hash, the most popular among Bitcoin miners and the like. Cryptographic hashing is a function used to authenticate message integrity. 5. Animal abuse. Spain is considering ending the mass slaughter of male chicks. In Spain alone, 35 million chicks are slaughtered every year because they cannot lay eggs and are not profitable for the market. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.